Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We had a great chat with Patrick Dunlop last night, CEO of Jackal Labs. I've been a long supporter of the project because I'm a huge advocate for sovereignty, data sovereignty, your data, your business, and they built the perfect platform for me. So yes, I've been I've been utilizing Jackal forever. But honestly, man, the thing I dig about them is they are more than capable of making the hard decisions. And if you go back and look at some of our earlier videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. I need a team that will take decisive action when something's wrong. You don't look at it for 6 months. You don't just let it run away because it's just crypto and it doesn't really matter. It does. And Jackal was capable of making the hard decisions. They made the right decisions, and the token is just doing wonderfully. So, uh, it, catch our live stream. All right, the link is posted. It's on Twitter. It's on the page. Just listen to it. Listen, and I think you'll get it. So, all right. Anyway, we're doing Adam today. Adam of all things. I beat the hell out of this thing. I mean, endlessly because it was opportunity cost. That was literally it. Where it was the opportunity cost of holding Adam were simply not worth it. But with Bitcoin starting to surge up and the blue chips tend to run with Bitcoin. I would like some Bitcoin exposure without buying Bitcoin because I cannot earn as well with Bitcoin as I can with Atom, and that's really where it comes down to. And let me give you the context. I want to show you the why. All right, there's a lot to unpack here, so let's go ahead and just get to it. So there's Bitcoin currently, and it's fun about Bitcoin. You can it'll change a hell of a lot quicker than CoinGecko get updated. But I want to show you this, and I want to show it to you on the month because I'm trying to illustrate a point here. That's Bitcoin over the last month, from 40 to 50-ish forever, and then up to 60. It's just kind of popping off. But I want you to burn that image in your head because we're going to go to Atom over the last month, and I want you to illustrate that Adam catches tailwinds off from this. It really does. That's the big dump right there. You guys remember that? That's Coinbase went down. Bitcoin couldn't be traded 64 to 58, just like that. Gotta love crypto, but Adam tends to run with it. So what I'm looking for is to get some Bitcoin exposure without buying Bitcoin because I don't care for it. I'm not in that camp. I'm not the future of finance kind of world. I'm indifferent to that. It's a vision. It's a great vision. I get it, but you know what? You guys sold out. All right, the ETFs. You just climbed in bed with TradFi. And if I wanted to be in TradFi, I would be in TradFi, but I'm not. I'm in crypto. So with that, I want to take advantage of it as much as I can, but I don't want that kind of exposure, man. If like I said, if I wanted to live in that world, I'd live in that world. So uh, coming back around to this because there's a really excellent pool that I'm in now. It might seem kind of odd, and with the way that you have your Kajiras and everybody else up here just dreaming up ways to squeeze dimes out of nickels. I'm more of a fan of nostalgia. Tell me how much, and that's where I'm at. So the pool is actually over here on Astrovault, and that's one that I am continuing to push and push and push in. The APR was a lot higher. We're kind of blowing it up because there's decent amount of money coming up over there. But I like simple. And in this case, I like having Atom paired against AXV. AXV has been running just super hot. Now it got a lot of push from Jackal, uh, but it is what it is. They made the right decision. They paired the smart pools with the smart tokens, and they got the rewards for it. So that's wonderful. That works great for me. But I'm still hesitant to hold Atom just because I am a percentage kind of investor, and I get much greater percentages out of smaller tokens than I do out of the larger market cap tokens. 3% is great. I love it. But I got 30% today out of Hash. So I'm more of a player like that. But you absolutely have to diversify, and you need to be in stable assets. You have to have a good portion of your uh, portfolio in stabler assets so that you're not as susceptible to the crazy crypto volatility that we get. So that's actually my pool of choice for that one because the APR is just, I mean, it is incredibly high for that particular pool. Now, the payout on this one is paid out in AXV. We had Eric from Astrovault. We had him on the show here a few nights ago because I was beating the hell out of him about two pools, this one here and this one here, because those APRs are obscene. And he broke out the numbers. I mean, that's it. He openly admitted, yes, we're taking a loss on these pools, but we have to do this so that we can bake stability onto the DEX and stability onto the AXV token. So I understand why they're doing it, and I'm going to take advantage of it just as long as I can. As long as they're up there that high, man, I'm happy to do it. So it gets me a two for one. It gives me Bitcoin exposure without purchasing Bitcoin. It gives me a tremendously good APR, and it pays me out in the AXV token, which has been ascending so well. Now, the reason that I like that portion of it is because the AXV token gives me exposure to everything on that DEX. It gives me, we call it tertiary exposure to everything on that DEX, and there are some very good tokens that I would like exposure to. And AXV does that for me. It all runs through AXV. So anything paired against AXV is going to affect the price of AXV, but that also gives me double exposure to it. So if, say, I'm down here in uh, a cash is starting to pick up. I'm sure you've noticed, man, the deep in narrative. Oh, which is funny because Patrick said something last night that was just wonderful. He was like, we started this in 2021. We were deep in before there was a name for it. I thought that was excellent. So, round of applause for one hell of a good line. But let me get back to this. The major pairing against AXV, two tokens, Jackal and Archway. So anything that either of those tokens are paired with are going to give you exposure just by holding the AXV token. So like this pool right here, Andromeda and Archway. Uh, the better either of those tokens do because it's so paired so heavily against AXV in these other pools that as they go up and down, it will literally carry some tailwinds or headwinds into AXV. So I get lots of chances with that token. I get lots of opportunities to get some gains and get some exposure to all of these other tokens without holding all of these other tokens. Some of them I don't really I'm not exactly in love with. Um, Archway started making some better decisions. They are starting to. I think they're starting to get it. So I'm opening myself up more to holding Archway, and you kind of got to be comfortable with that if you're going to swim on this DEX. If you're going to swim in these waters, you're going to have to get comfortable with the fact that Archway is a major player over here, but. Be, all the other pools that are building up really big right now, they're all going to have an effect on AXV. So, from my standpoint, the more I have over here, which I have a token that is effectively pegged to Bitcoin, not exactly, there are no one for one pegs in here, but it runs when Bitcoin runs hot, Atom runs hot. When Bitcoin cools off, Atom cools off. I'm fine with that because we're talking about smaller percentages. 3%, 5%. I'm cool with that, man. We live in crypto world where a 35% day is just Tuesday. So again, I see it as a way for me to get the Bitcoin exposure, keep my tokens relatively stable and get exposure to everything else on this DEX. And they're paying me 72%, man. Like I said, that's obscene. I'll stay over there as long as it's incredibly obscene APRs. I'm cool with it. If it drops down to 28 ish, I could probably do better. I could probably farm better somewhere else, but I think we're a long way off on that one. So, anyway, guys, that was it. I wanted to give you context. This is why I do what I do. This is how I make my money. If I'm not pushing and scalping, then the money I have will be going to work somewhere. I always keep a cash position, but everything else it bothers me if I'm not pushing it somewhere. So if you believe in the Bitcoin narrative, then everything I just said right there makes sense. If you believe that Bitcoin is going to continue to go up and up, everything I said here made sense. That's my video for today. Questions or comments, Scott at thepodcast.com. I answer any and all of them. And until next time, guys, please stay safe. Please be smart with your money and go Jackal.